Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Nusaiba Ali. Now I will presentation about cognitive ergonomics midterm exam. About ergonomics come from the Latin ergox or work, and nomos natural law, which is different uh, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Nusaiba Ali. Now I will presentation about cognitive ergonomics midterm exam. Ergonomics comes from the Latin ergox or work and nomos natural law, which is defined as the study of human aspects in their work environments that are reviewed in terms of anatomy, psychology, engineering, management, and design. The goal is to reduce the risk of injury and discomfort in the workplace. Cognitive is a mental activity that involves the process of acquiring, storing, calling, and using knowledge and information. Cognitive science can also be seen from the cognition itself, which includes the formation of a prototype of a phenomenon or what is commonly called perception, problem solving, reasoning, learning, and memory. Next, the meanings of cognitive ergonomics is a branch of ergonomics that discusses human mental work process, which places special emphasis on the analysis of cognitive process. For example, the diagnosis of decision making and planning, which is needed by operator in modern industry. What is cognitive ergonomics important? When we hear about accident, we often hear that they are caused by humans, meaning the person controlling the machine is in good health and perfect. So the importance of cognitive ergonomics is to know the human mental work process. The benefit and goals of cognitive ergonomics are to improve the performance of cognitive tasks through a number of interventions, including number one, user-centered human-machines interaction design. Number two, design of information technology system that support cognitive tasks. Number three, development of training programs. And last, cognitive redesigns to manage workload and increase human reliability. Next, what is human information processing? Human information processing is how humans receive, store, interact, retrieve, and use information with stage, namely, number one, encoding. The process of entering information into memory. The process of changing this information can occur in two ways. Namely, number one, by accident. When things revised by the sense are accidentally entered into their memory. Example, someone feels that he will get what he wants if he cries in front of the mother. Number two, deliberately is a person who intentionally commits experience and knowledge to memory. Example is, as a student will deliberately include everything that is learned. Number two, storage. The process of storing information about what has been processed in encoding. And number three, retrieval. Recall what is already in memory. Example of this encoding, storage, and retrieval process can be found in everyday life. Example is when I was on a trip, a motorcycle and car accident occurred. I saw the incident. Received by perception and code. This is where the encoding process occurs. Then the brain stores the incident. What color car, what color motorcycle, and how many people. In this case, the storage process took place. As an eyewitness, I was finally asked for information by the police. Then I told what happened according to the information stored in the brain. This is a retrieval process. Next, about attention. Attention is an active process of consciously limiting information that appears to be millions received from sensory, memory, and other cognitive process so that it only focuses on information that is considered important, while information that is considered less important will be ignored. Next, for example, someone who is listening to music using earphones while watching television. Then he hears the voice of a meatball seller because he feels hungry and wants to. Then he rushes to call the meatball seller. Someone whose attention is disturbed is called ADHD. The impact that occurs when a person's attention is disturbed is that it causes the child to have difficulty concentrating and has impulsive and hyperactive behavior. This condition can have an impact on children's achievement in school. Also because for him, imagination is more interesting than reality. Children always want to move and can't stay still. As a result, it is difficult to walk. Impaired learning and memory, difficult to make decisions, and moods become easily changeable. Next, about perception. Perception is the direct response of something or the process of someone knowing several things in order to provide an overview and understanding of the environment. Perception includes a signal in the nervous system, which are the result of physical or chemical simulation of the sensory organs. Then, perception can be said to be a view or assessment of oneself. Other people obtain it from learning and experience. Perceptual disorder is a term that covers a very wide range of things in which a person is disturbed to be aware of things around him. Perceptual disorders include sensory processing disorder or SPD, namely the difficulty in processing stimuli received by the sense. So, the children are often disturbed by the things around them. For example, is the sound sounds more noisy, the light looks too dazzling, and so on. About memory. What is known as memory is the ability to encode, store, retain, and recall past information in the human brain. Much of this information is stored for future control of motor activity and for use in thought processing. Human call Human can also experience forgetting because humans really call up exciting memories or because there are other memories that are more memorable or lack instructions. Next, the difference between working memory and short-term memory. About working memory, number one, limited capacity by temporarily storing information. Occurs when someone rehearses information in short-term storage or STS. It is a development of the STM concept. Number two, process while in a conscious state. Number three, information in working memory comes from the sense or from long-term memory. Number four, the capacity of working memory to control several things at one time is related to age. About short-term memory. Number one, has a limited capacity and lasts only short time, about 20 seconds. Number two, retrieve information from long-term memory. And last, a way to retain information in STM or short-term memory by passing it to LTM or long-term memory. Next, about the difference between long-time memory and short-time memory. About long-time memory. Number 1, very old. Number 2, has no capacity limitation. Number 3, in order to retain information for a long time, it is necessary to remove this information from short-term memory. Number 4, forgetting speed is much lower. Number 5, has unlimited capacity. About short-term memory. Number 1, very brief. Number 2, temporary storage of information before it is transferred to long-term memory or LTM. Number 3, there is a process of encoding or encoding information before it is forwarded to long-term memory. Number 4, stored information can be in the form or auditory, visual, and semantic information, depending on the type of sensory information captured. And last, has a limited storage capacity, only able to accommodate about 7 items. Example of the application of memory in everyday life are: number 1, when holding a school reunion, for example, elementary school. So, when you meet friend A, you will remember a pleasant incident while at school with him. And when you meet B, you will remember different stories and stories. Number 2, application of memory when given the task of memorizing lessons. For example, tables of chemical compounds. Then I will make an abbreviation or song that can make it easier to repeat and remember. And number 3, when remembering a phone number, to remember quickly, it must be continuous. What happens when a person's memory is impaired, which can cause the sufferer to have difficulty distorting, controlling, and recalling memories. Can even trigger Alzheimer's disease. From this, it can interfere with daily tasks. Okay, maybe that's all. Thank you for your attention and sorry for my mistake. See you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.